Why are Knives Out and Andor so good? Is it the effects, the cast, or the writing? No, it's something smaller that's easy to miss if you're not paying attention. It's the reason some stories feel complete while others seem to fall just short of greatness. That secret? Focus. Focus is why Knives Out and Andor are so good. They understand what they are and rarely, if ever, lose sight of what their job is while juggling different plot points and storylines. This is not limited to just media. You see this everywhere. From who rises in rank in chess, why some books start strong and fizzle out, and why some companies seem to take over while not being that different from their. It is all due to focus and how effectively it is utilized. Focus, as I view it, is the through line that runs through the heart of what you are making. In the 3 works I am breaking down today, you can think of it as the answer to the question, what is this? For Knives Out, it is a twist on the classic whodunit murder mystery. This kind of movie is commonly known for leaving breadcrumb clues throughout the movie, ending in a final reveal that, if executed well, allows the viewer to look back and catch details that they may have missed. Andor, on the other hand, is a dark, gritty story of oppression, apathy, and rebellion. To do this, the show has to convince us that the main characters live in a world where strict authoritarianism, unjust punishments, and high stakes. It sounds easy, right? Just have an idea and stick to it. You might be wondering, if that's all there is to success, why aren't there more great works out there? Problem is that you have to fill a lot of time, especially in TV shows with their numerous episodes. Additionally, art is used to convey a message, referencing current events and expressing an opinion on them. Nobody sets out to make a soulless, by-the-books perfect movie, and even if they did, nobody would watch it. Adding all the extra elements, such as side stories, multiple characters, false leads, and references to current events, can make the through line or the focus fuzzy, risking collapse of the entire story. Knives Out doesn't just focus on the murder. It is a snarky movie, showing a family dynamic that not only strengthens the characters, but also uses these interactions to add to the mystery. Each scene adding evidence that could link to the murder or be a new motive. This way, it maintains its focus. It also maintain focus while talking about current events. With the immigration undertones, each one raises the stakes for the main character while lending its thoughts, finding a balance between having an opinion and using that opinion to add to the story. The movie doesn't just have an opinion on immigration and the current climate, it tells you why it's important to the story and what will happen to the main character if things like this continues. When you watch Knives Out, you can't help but feel everything, every scene adding to the identity of the story, leading to a movie that, while not revolutionary in its adoption of the murder mystery formula, its focus and execution of that focus is revolutionary. Andor is centered on showing the realities of authoritarianism in a dark, gritty universe where rights don't exist and the answer to resistance is always violence. Being a TV show, Andor has more time to explore its ideas, which also runs the risk of losing focus. How does it do it? Andor's greatness is through its characters and the storylines that interweave through one another, creating the unified theme or focus that is enhanced through the multiple storylines, instead of becoming fuzzy and unfocused. Andor himself, his arc of being a smuggler searching for his family, being attacked by corrupt officers, resulting in him being hunted and pushed into the arms of the resistance. He isn't a hero with powers like Luke. He is a small fish in a dangerous universe that was pushed into action due to the actions of the Empire and the system. Cyril and Dedra, both characters who are intertwined with the Empire and its systems. However, their roles aren't just as the enemy. They also have motivations and stakes. Cyril, the misguided man from a family that demands greatness, sees that in law and order. Dedra, the high-achieving ISB officer, plays her own Game of Thrones, where failure isn't just a bad reputation, it means death. These storylines not only provide depth and flesh out the world the story is being told in, but they also maintain focus by reinforcing the dark and gritty theme. We know the stakes because in the first episode, we saw Andor be attacked by corrupt officers, forced to kill them. We know the universe is unforgiving because we see what happens to those who fail, Empire or not. We know what everyone has to lose because we see it. So when we have a scene scene showing an ISB officer helping the rebellion, or a senator giving a speech, or something as small as a radio not working, we know the stakes because the show remains focused on what the theme is and how it can reinforce it. Notice the lack of Jedi and lightsabers in Andor? This wasn't a mistake or an oversight. This was a direct choice because of focus. This isn't a story of hope, perseverance, or being destined for greatness, finding the strength to overcome challenges. Andor is about survival and how authoritarian governments spark resistance and the cost to keep that spark alive. Adding super soldiers with magic powers wouldn't fit that narrative, as they by definition don't fit the theme, so the show doesn't include them, making it the least Star Wars show you could imagine, and being all the better for it. What about those who lose focus? What might that look like? Now, this may land me in hot water, as this book currently has 4.15 out of 5 on Goodreads. However, I stand by my rating of 3, so let's review what went wrong with Hidden Pictures. Hidden Pictures is a supernatural murder mystery thriller where a young woman gets out of rehab and becomes a nanny for a family whose house has a dark history. The child she watches, Teddy, has episodes of seeming supernatural possession, where pictures are drawn in ever-increasing detail depicting terrifying things that he should not know that seem to fit the disappearance of the girl who used to live in their shed. Through the book, the main character, Mallory, begins researching the house's history, using Teddy to unlock more of the mystery and dealing with her own struggles with being sober. This all sounds great, and it truly is a great read for the first 80%. However, at the end, the book tries to surprise the reader, doing what I call a rug pull reveal, where instead of having the other storylines weave together with the theme and the clues to the mystery being breadcrumbs from the start, the reveal feels like it should be from another book altogether. This desire to shock the reader is where the author lost focus, and it cost them, bringing a great book down with it. Let's examine some specific points of the book. The very first chapter brings to light Mallory being an unreliable narrator, making us question what we could believe from her. This could be used as a setup to a future payoff, where she was hallucinating drawings, or even drugging Teddy herself. Instead, this chapter is used as a decoy, never coming into the plot. Another loss of focus is the entire storyline of the girl's disappearance from the family house. Throughout the entire book, we were led to believe that Teddy was somehow communicating with the girl who had disappeared. However, in the end, that is not the case, causing there to be no meaningful connection between the haunted house and the story. And finally, the reveal itself. This book's reveal that Teddy is actually a girl who was kidnapped by her parents and forced to swap genders, and the drawings were her telling the story, is not only almost never referenced as even a possibility anywhere in the book, it also directly rebukes the haunted house storyline. However, as if that wasn't bad enough, when the reveal happens, it takes away the supernatural element, as everything can now be explained by a badly written logical sequence. Teddy has trauma and is drawing pictures as a way to ask for help, except that isn't what's happening. She is physically being possessed by her dead mother, who takes control of her arm long enough to lunge from a tree and stab her kidnapper. This changes the story from a supernatural murder mystery thriller into an 80s-esque horror movie book, resulting in the loss of focus and a disappointing ending. And also, the dad is a pervert for some reason. I first began writing in my notes about this sense of something being missing versus some shows hitting it out of the park, but I wasn't quite able to exactly explain why. Almost 2 years ago, and it took me a long time to put it into words. This doesn't just apply to media. It's why some football players transcend even those around them, and why some companies create monopolies despite having seemingly similar products, and it's why you can sometimes lock in and other times you can't think straight. It's focus. Knowing this, how can you use it? Knives Out didn't blow people away because of its plot twist, and Andor didn't win Emmys due to its visual effects. You don't need to be the smartest or the best looking person in the room to succeed. Just need to focus. Find out what your goal is and if what you are doing is in line with that goal, instead of studying / watching reels for 2 hours, study for 1 hour fully, and watch reels for 1 hour fully. Instead of trying to lose weight and build muscle by occasionally working out and eating when you're hungry, have a workout routine and meal plan. If you are depressed, ask yourself what is causing it and if it's something that needs medication or therapy or both. Focus is the secret skill that can get you a promotion or lead to a fantastic show. It separates the legends from the rest, and the best part is anyone can use it. I hope I've given you something to think about. Thanks for watching.